Steiny and Guru joined by Mark Willard and Dan Dibley.
Man.
And we don't have to get into what I was talking. Listen, I get it. There was another side to that, the play I'm describing.
I love your
But
energy,
the mere fact that 2 or 3 people at least texted and said, yeah, I was thinking the same kind of thing, Steiny. That's all I need. It's not a right or wrong.
Okay.
That's all.
There you go.
Nothing's right or wrong.
Let's put it right on.
No, curses exist in sports.
Well,
that's a fact.
That started this
That's
morning.
a fact.
The Seattle Mariners
that's a
have
fact.
never played in a World Series. I think that's a curse if I'm a Mariner fan.
but why? Like, what's the curse?
The results that you've never
Okay.
played on
No,
the
but
biggest
Here's
day.
an
you get what
idea.
Dibs is
Ernest
asking.
Biner fumbled against the Broncos.
But who put a curse on them?
Are the Chargers cursed?
The sports gods.
Well, the Chargers are just poorly run.
Thank you.
Dude, the
Are the
Evans
Arizona
back there,
Cardinals
yes.
cursed?
Well, they went to a Super
they
Bowl.
went to-
They
should've
came
won
damn
it.
close.
Yes,
They came
Antonio
damn close.
Holmes.
But did they win it?
No, they did
No.
not.
No.
They did not.
But they
They're
got
poorly
there.
run.
Right.
They're
They're
poorly
poorly run. So you could look at organizations that are poorly run and you could say, yeah, you're not cursed. You just stink.
So
Randy,
these
sorry.
entities that are doing the cursing, are they
Like the Bambino.
are they
Yeah,
like
thank you,
are they like
Dib.
the big god?
Willard.
Are they like the people who levy this curse? Is that like the big god, or are there actually football gods that just
Yeah, it's one of the
focus
littler
on-
Whichever one
gods,
fits
yeah.
your, like Sacramento
Yeah.
King fans, do you think they think they're cursed? I would say yes. It's getting better. But
Right.
Well, no, the NBA
I like your
is-
God breakdown because there's
you go down
big
there,
God,
yeah.
like
Right.
capital G God, and
Right.
he's pretty busy. He or she,
I would
whatever,
think.
non-binary,
Yeah,
my
look
lord,
at my
whatever.
guy.
Shout out JC and all the rest of them. Whoever you partake. I'm by the way, I'm a religious free agent. In case anybody wants to court me.
Oh.
Yeah, I announced my free agency. I'm trying to
I'll talk to
That's a
Judaism and
I'm
see what they
trying to
say.
get
I
in
know
on
you are.
Judaism,
I know
no
you
part
are.
of
but Judaism's giving me the Heisman.
Well,
I was a
lightning
Buddhist for a
strikes.
while, and
if
then
your mom's
you
not
know.
if your mom's not Jewish, they're gonna look
What
at you
happened
with
to
side
Dibs on the way home?
Dude, Catholicism I was in, and then they laid out what I needed to do, and I was like, I'm out.
You know
I'm
what?
out on all that homework.
You know what could always
Out
use
on this
members is
conversation.
Yeah.
Latvian Orthodox.
Thank you.
Oh, boy.
You know what I want, Steiny? And we'll get back to football in a minute, but I want a religion
time.
where I can be who I want to be, and I can believe what I want to believe, and then when it all comes down, I still get into heaven.
Wow, look
That's
at
what I
you.
want.
You
Church of
just struck
Dibs.
a nerve with me. Just
I want
right
the
there.
no work,
Church of
you're
Dibs.
still in religious.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that
It's just a couple Hail Marys,
No,
just like life.
At the end,
Couple Hail
exactly.
that
Marys,
exists.
you're in.
That exists. Just,
Dude, that's
boy.
what I
just
want.
wake up
You
and
did-
think
that's
whatever
what
the
I
hell you
want.
want. That's
No work, no tithe, no payments, no. Hey,
Tithe.
you
Yeah,
gotta,
Willard,
hey,
stop it.
you gotta show up every Sunday.
Payments.
Yeah. You know what I want? I want at the very end of it when this might be my last breath. I believe,
Dude,
and then I get in.
he's-
That's what I want.
The things we remember in life.
Thank you, Steiny.
My cousin James, James Lofton, he passed away.
Man.
I was a young boy. Mom took me went to the funeral with the family, took me up to the casket, and I was not ready for seeing the body in the casket.
Yeah,
That's something I'll
man.
never forget.
Yep.
Shout out to Kevin Danes and the Danes family in Union City. They're Mormon, had a Mormon church still there in Union City. So I was Jerry Rice. I was the ringer for their sport teams. In order to play on the teams, you had to go to one church one Sunday.
Oh, my God.
And hearing you talk, and I said, hey, neighbors, I don't got to do nothing, right? No commitment, nothing. Just come this one Sunday. You're good. I'm in the basketball league. And they said, Guru, Daryl, stand up. And I'll never forget the day, the temperature, and everybody was, no, you got to stand up. You got to go up. And it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. So when I hear you talk like
Yeah,
that,
that's
shout
tough.
out to the Danes family.
Yeah.
But we had a discussion after. But Willard, your boy was on pins and needles,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? You
That's
guys
tough,
told
yeah.
me no.
That's
Dibs,
tough.
this is why the text line every once in a while comes through.
Okay.
Are you sure you're a free agent, or are you just in the religion transfer portal?
That's exactly
that is a
right.
good one.
I'm in the portal.
Yeah.
I'm in the portal, and
Thank
you know,
you, 415.
And I'm
Shout
kind
out
of like
Dion.
I'm like the Ish Smith of religious people. I've been on like 12 different teams. I think I
Chucky
spent
Brown.
time as a Lutheran. I might have been a Methodist. I think I was a Baptist for a while. I definitely was a Buddhist for a good stretch. I sent myself to Catholic school not once but twice. Baptized an Episcopalian. Covetous of being a Jew.
Look at my guy.
But the Jews won't have me, so I'm out there. I'm out there. I'm like a free agent quarterback hoping the Jets call me right now. There's
What
a
was that?
transition.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Well, I mean,
A debut?
not
Gordon Hayward.
4 snaps in.
And I sent you
Four
the actual
snaps in.
fact.
I-
Five minutes
What
in.
was it?
Yeah.
5 minutes
Oh.
into Gordon Hayward.
How many days need to go by before people will get sort of sarcastically humorous about this? Like,
I think,
Days.
yeah.
well, what did Aaron make per snap this year?
Oh,
Has anyone added that up yet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
he
it's
is.
like $9 million per snap.
I mean, I do-
He got
I do-
$36 million, right?
He still was more productive than Klay Thompson during a 2-year stretch.
Very good.
Man.
There's
Yeah,
my
if we want to
boys.
do that,
Yeah,
we got to play
material.
fair.
No, man, I'm glad you didn't say that on the air
Yeah.
with the Warriors season coming up in a month.
Hey,
Shout out
I'm the
to
same
you.
guy who said
Petty
it wasn't
Kings.
as if, Klay didn't play games, but it wasn't like he didn't work.
Duh.
He was still
Yeah.
earning his paycheck
For sure.
by rehabbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are done though. You guys, I mean, I heard you guys'
The Jets?
conversation. They're done, and I know.
you sound like-
I
Man.
love your belief in things. You know that I'm cut
Yeah.
from the exact same cloth. But the idea that him being around Aaron for a few
Right.
weeks
But
means that
Dibs-
now he can play football. Like it just, I look that draft class, and we don't need to go there. We've all been there. That draft class of quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is fantastic.
I'm not out on
Yeah,
Mac
yeah.
Jones.
And the rest of them have had enough time,
Well.
whether it's on the field or off, they have had enough time to show
You going
their,
Justin Fields
their
over.
teams. Well, that was a very terrifying start if you're a Bear
Oh
fan.
my! I'm
And-
speechless.
and
He
my-
got booed.
I walked out the courtroom. I can't defend
Listen,
anymore.
right. This guy's apologizing to his teammates and the
That was
fan base
bad.
after the game. I still have questions about the way that they are like call plays in Chicago, but the bottom line is the bottom line. It's year 3, and those players have had enough time to show the world that they are the guy. And if your name's not Trevor Lawrence, you didn't.
Wow.
You didn't. And so can you play in the league? Sure, Mac Jones can play in the league.
And they won the game though, Willard, against the Buffalo. I
Sure,
just
Exactly.
Sure, nothing sustainable
Okay,
about that
okay.
map at all, as we all know. And so yeah, is it? And also the search for Saleh comes out today. This is
Jameis, whoever.
Zach Williams. He says it's Zach
Trey.
Wilson's team, which he has no choice but to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is no phone call
Wow,
that you
man.
can make to go win a Super Bowl. They're done.
Now,
I wonder
okay.
what their Super Bowl odds have done, and I can
Said
look
they
it up.
plummeted, but I didn't look at the
Yeah,
story.
and I wonder just how much they plummeted because
I'll look it up.
honestly, if you look at a normal team, yes, you could say that they are quote unquote done, but the Jets have a top 5
Oh, my
defense.
gosh.
They've got a running back who was on Mark's bench, Brees Hall.
Dude,
I had him
and
in.
he-
That's what I was
don't
starting
stare me
off.
down. You still won.
Yeah, by like going away.
Yes.
Yeah, that's-
So did Steiny.
Well,
He
I,
beat me.
I thought you won by 2 points.
No, that's
There's
not.
different
I don't
league.
have. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
have Brees Hall.
Oh,
early.
he's
I don't have Brees Hall
explosive.
early.
I
Mark.
do think that the Jets have
he is.
enough that they can still be
He's
a
worse.
good or a competitive or even a playoff team.
Well, they get a great defense. They get a great defense.
and they have a
But
great
Mark-
running game,
Yeah.
and they've got a really bright young mind as a head coach, and he's going to have to figure it out.
Which one of us in this room, when Jimmy was down, I believe it was against Miami, helped me out of the Saints, which one of us would have said, Brock, the season's not over? Because that was the thought I had.
But we
Like,
hadn't-
oh my gosh.
But we hadn't seen him play. We've watched Zach Wilson play. He can't play. He can't play.
Oh, he can play. He's just
can-
not great.
he
Remember, we
cannot-
loved him at BYU.
Yeah,
I
he-
still
course.
do.
He cannot
That's
play.
the
He
deal.
cannot. He cannot lead a locker room.
We don't know after the Aaron Rodgers
he led
effect.
him to a win
I
on
just-
Monday night.
Hey, Dibs,
How
that-
dare you?
We're acting like they
Right.
lost, but I get you.
Exactly.
Until you
I
see
mean,
it, you won't be a believer.
When your best pass of the night is your best receiver, like
he threw a rope.
Making
playing
the catch of the
twister,
year.
Okay.
playing
Put it right
twister
in his
in the end
hands.
zone.
Well,
and
I thought it was the rope to
sticking an
Lazard.
arm
Yeah.
across his body, knocking it back to himself. I mean, come on, like he can't play. They're not gonna. Look at that division. I know they beat Josh Allen, and it's very in vogue now to rip Josh
He's
Allen.
the new Dak.
Okay, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I feel like this is sort of how many stages of grief are there? Dibs?
5.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
5.
Jets are in the 5 stages of grief.
Number
And they-
5.
and they have-
Denial.
That is
Yes,
phenomenal.
that's exactly where you are. Your
There's
mind-
denial,
Oh, this is
there's
Jameis Winston and
Well,
Chad Henne.
There's
and,
acceptance, there's bargaining, which would be
Careful.
like, well, Merritt,
What?
maybe
He's
Aaron
from
can come
Reading.
back by January.
Or Jameis, where you at?
Well, everybody
Exactly.
wants Tom Brady to unretire.
Dude, that
I
is
mean,
great.
like, come on. There is no magic bullet here. This stinks. It's brutal. This
They're going to
fan
have
base,
a winning record, the Jets.
Dibs, I'm not.
That's an interesting thought. I wonder. Maybe they're not.
You're just giving the kid no shot.
No shot.
To what? To win the Super Bowl?
Bus drive them
Not
to
to
the
make him into the
playoffs.
playoffs.
I mean,
And then Aaron will be back by then.
No, yeah.
Whatever. Stitch him up. Let's go.
Super Bowl odds went from 16-1 to, at minimum, depends on the books.
Yeah.
At minimum, 35-1.
Okay.
Wow.
You know what?
It's a little bit of a jump.
Listen,
65-1 in some books.
What book?
FanDuel.
Oh, whatever.
see, I would
It's just the
A
big one.
real one.
I was hoping
real
it'd be
one.
some fly-by-night operation.
Bob's Discount Casino.
I had the whatever preloaded. I'm sorry.
like, would you make
O'Shea's,
this bet? Would you
totally.
make this bet? And
A lot of fun at
you know,
O'Shea's.
and you're right about the Jets. They got a deep right.
Sure, sure.
And I kind of think they're done. So would you? I'll bet you the Jets don't go 500 this year. 8.5 is the number.
8.5
Yeah.
is the number now.
No, it's
Just that's
like
your
he
Steiny's
said,
number.
they gotta
right.
win
Like
9.
9 and 8 means they were competitive all year.
I would
And
have
they
to
win the
really.
bet.
I mean, if we're gonna make a real heavy bet, I'd have to go schedule maker
just meant
and
like
go
the
through.
The
good-natured
schedule
bet.
is
It's
an
wicked.
I think you
absolute
mentioned it earlier.
bear.
They got
or-
Dallas this
Like
Sunday.
you mentioned, like their upcoming schedule, which I think there's a Philly in
Okay,
there. There's
just-
a Dallas.
just
and-
before the bye week. Okay,
Okay.
just till week 6.
Let's play the schedule game.
All right, they're at
Jets.
Dallas.
That's a win.
Schedule.
They're home to the Patriots.
Win.
They are home to the Chiefs.
That's a win.
They're at Mile High for the
Win.
Broncos.
There's 2 losses.
and they host Philly.
Yeah,
That's-
Dallas and
that's
and
just
Kansas
before the
I
City.
bye.
got them at 5-0-1.
The rest of
Sorry.
the schedule, though, obviously they got
Trolling it is
to
fine.
play
Totally right.
Miami twice. They're going to have to go
Yeah.
to Buffalo still.
Whatever.
The Chargers
They own the
are on the
Bills. They do.
schedule. Yeah.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and
It's
HD1
tough.
San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch
Now-
and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit.
That's the same carpet that got Bosa, and it's got a few people. That cleat, to me, I'm no doctor, got stuck in the turf to allow.
We will
that.
talk to an actual doctor today, Doc Pandia.
What is going? Is this $1 billion
No,
business,
he
man?
already-
Get rid of it, man.
He already last night said.
Oh, it had some.
Well,
That's terrible.
hard to say with any specific injury, but when you look at all of the injuries,
Oh, man.
and the point is that yes, studies have been done,
All right.
and artificial turf,
No doubt. It should be
makes
gone.
makes it worse
All right.
for injuries. That's
Yeah.
studies have been
Right.
done. That's
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
a wrap.
Yeah, which, you know what? This is going to be the time. I have to laugh before I even get it out, but this will be the call to action for the NFL. This will bring about change. They don't give.
Yeah,
they don't give 2 shifts, and I put the F's in there
They
just
didn't
so
do
that
it for yeah.
they
God,
don't
you want to
give.
watch people jump out of their
They
seat
don't
in the
give
other
2
room.
shifts, the morning shift, the afternoon shift. They don't even give 3 shifts. And I'm going to shout out the overnight shift.
Look at you.
They don't give any shift about player safety. If they did, they wouldn't have been concussion deniers for 20 or 30 years, and they would have eradicated the artificial surfaces a
Man,
long
yes,
time
no,
ago. They
you
don't
might be onto
care.
something.
They don't care,
Do you
Steiny.
Michael.
guys know offhand how many how many are grass and how many are turf?
Oh gosh,
I had it yesterday, and
not off the
there's
top.
only
Is it about half and half or
Yes.
not even close?
There are only 30 stadiums.
Okay.
Because there are 4 teams that share 2
Share,
stadia.
yeah.
And I believe
SoFi.
it's 16 turf, 14 grass.
That's just ridiculous.
And I would assume they're scattered geographically, so it's not as if, well, we can't have grass in this area of the country because of
Right.
climate.
Like Seattle has turf.
Okay.
And then, which, hey, a lot of rain in Seattle. It's the rainy city. And, Santa Clara has grass. I think Vegas has grass, LA grass.
what,
and then,
what teams have grass on the East Coast?
good question.
Maybe they're
Buffalo's turf, Philly's turf.
What's New England? What's New England?
Pittsburgh's grass.
I think New England is also turf.
Is it?
I can look it up.
maybe that
I
might
had it
have something to
yesterday.
do
Yeah,
with it.
Pittsburgh's grass, right?
That's
Yeah.
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 Heinz. Whatever it is now.
Cincinnati's turf. Oh
Cleveland?
no, I'm thinking of
Cleveland.
I'm thinking of Riverfront Stadium. They might be in a new
Keenan
place.
Anderson.
Cleveland's grass, right?
Yeah.
Cleveland's grass.
Riverfront.
know.
Miami's
I don't know.
grass.
You know what's funny is like we're talking about player safety and that the turf certainly crossed my mind. But you know what else crossed my mind? They're playing a Thursday game, week 1.
This is really bothering them.
It is bothering me. Like the Eagles and the 49ers, they come out of the gates with 3 games in like 11 days, like right out of the gate, right?
Yeah. Is
What
that
happens for some of the
11?
teams that play
It's
Thanksgiving?
12. I'm
whatever it is.
fudging the numbers maybe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
how let him get a lather up first?
I mean, to me, that is, if you want to just go opponent specific, that is an advantage for the 49ers. They are going to be in a comfortable spot this weekend, right? It's a short road trip. It's a place where they've won a lot of football games. And yes, they've got to turn around, but it's to come home, short trip. The New York Giants are coming out for the entire 2 weeks. They will go to Arizona this week and then have to not go home, come straight here and play 4 days later, and that's after their 40-0 beat down and a lot of pressure, and they're just not that good of a football team. So you're right, but if they do what we would expect them to do and win these 2 games both within the next 9 days, you're 3-0 and you get your little mini bye.
Yeah.
Get your little mini bye before week 4.
Baltimore with grass. I'm sorry,
go
Goop.
ahead,
Baltimore, Chicago, Cleveland, Denver, Green Bay, Jacksonville.
Let's go.
Kansas City, Vegas, Miami, Philly, Pittsburgh, the Niners, and the Commanders. So it is a little bit of a hodgepodge in terms of time zone, weather, and the rest of it.
So there's no good reason to not have them all.
Hey,
Correct.
man.
Other than
Money is not an issue.
cha-ching, you know.
But
I mean, but why is that? You know what I mean? How? There's no way, no matter what it costs, there's no way it's not a drop in the bucket for the NFL.
Nothing, man.
How is that something that resonates?
Yeah.
That's what makes it so bad.
A team that can sit like the 49ers last week on a Wednesday went, all right, Nick, let's see, $170 million for
man.
you. Kittle and Williams, let's
we don't get
restructure
it.
that. Like, how? How is turf something that is where they draw the line?
But
I don't get it.
I agree, particularly because I saw a stat where kickoff returns were at an all-time low in week 1.
Well, that's the rule. The rule changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But why? Because of safety.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's
you
to
can
me,
understand that one, though.
Well, what I'm saying is, sure, I can understand that one, but
not
what
this
about
one.
turf?
I have no idea.
The NFL has, I think there's 2 reasons for that. A, the NFL, Dibs is right. They don't care, but they will make the change to make it look like they care. But the issue with turf versus kickoff leads to concussions.
No doubt.
That was pitched to America correctly, that this is something that is
Tell the truth.
This is threatening people's lives.
That's a 4.
Right?
It's
It's
really
threatening
good.
people's lives. Your ACL is not threatening your life.
All right.
It's just a little less.
That
it's
stinks.
a little. It's not as hot of a topic.
Speaking of hot, I came in hot. And
Let's go.
you guys tell me if Steiny, he didn't throw me out the studio or try. The Niners have the best offense in the NFL. And the only other team that I can put up there, when you go man for man, pound for pound, is the Miami Dolphins when Tua is healthy. But I do understand the greatness of Mahomes. But you can't tell me Mahomes has the luxury outside of Kelsey of a McCaffrey, a Debo, a Ayuk. And then for the smartasses in the back, I said, okay, you don't want me to leave the defense out? The roster. Give me a roster on both sides of the ball in the current NFL, and this is kudos to Kyle and company, that you would take right now over the Niners. I'm being real,
No,
Dibs.
there isn't one.
I'm
There isn't
watching
one.
these play calls.
Right.
It's just man, an embarrassment of riches.
And I do think part of the offense is the ability to possess the ball. Because what Kyle can do is Kyle can hit you for a 35-minute TOP, time of possession, which makes it a lot harder on your offense because you don't have as many opportunities. And it makes it so your defense, which is also nasty, can be fresher. Nick Bosa played 35 snaps. And it wasn't because he was rusty. It's because that's all they needed.
All they need.
He could have played more, and he would have played more. He played all but
People
2.
were saying keep it to put.
He
take
played
him out.
almost the entire first half.
Right.
And then they're like,
Right.
I think we have this game.
Exactly.
So now we don't need to as
But
much.
it's crazy,
they
man.
can keep that defense fresh because Kyle can hit you for an 8-minute drive just as easy as
However
Kansas
you
City can
want
go
it.
bing, bang, boom.
I don't think anything you said is wrong. I think there's an intricacy to maybe the way you asked the question. Like, in other words, if I'm a defensive coordinator and I have to prepare for an opposing
Come
team,
talk to me.
I think the 49ers are probably one of the larger headaches there. Because
Miami Mostert, I love you. You ain't McCaffrey.
Yeah, there's too many mismatches that are too easy to create because of the embarrassment of riches. Now, if you asked, because you compared it to Kansas City, if you said, who would you rather face where I've got a 2-point lead and I'm going to give the other offense the ball at their own 20 with a minute to go, I would rather face the 49ers than Patrick Mahomes.
I got to give Patrick that respect.
Right, because he's so damn special.
And we haven't seen Micah Parsons' words. I don't know if you heard him. We had Sean Key talk about Brock, and it was right. How does he play when they're behind? We haven't seen a lot of that. That was interesting.
We haven't seen a lot of it.
Yeah,
we have seen it. Right. I was there. I watched
now, which one?
The Raider game.
Yeah, gotcha.
They were down by 10. They went down by double digits against the Raiders, and he played phenomenal. And they scored almost 40 points.
But I would give Mahomes
the
the one on that. Give him the ball.
Well, I give Mahomes the nod over anything in the NFL. That's the guy. Yeah. That's the face of the league. But Parsons' comment is interesting, and it is something that we're going to hop right into immediately. When he says he's a top 15 QB, I think it raises eyebrows for a second. Until you really stop and think about it, it's actually rather obvious. If I asked you, forget resume and who's been established in the league, and just ask yourself, go through the league,
who's playing,
count the quarterbacks that you 49er fans would take right now over Brock. I'd rather blank is my QB than Brock.
I'd probably get to 7 or 8 or even 6.
Yeah, it's the old. It's the old Brock Purdy. I would take Brock Purdy over Derek Carr right now.
Absolutely.
But Derek Carr,
Prescott.
Most people would take Derek Carr's better than Purdy because he had it's based on a guy's career. But no, I would take Brock Purdy over Derek Carr right now.
He's already played in a bigger game than Dak has had 100 years to try to play in.
I would take him over Dak too. I would
because I've seen failure from a lot of quarterbacks like Dak.
I would too, but I get it if somebody had the opposite opinion.
Dak's got a greater resume.
How about Cousins?
I would take Brock because I've seen the failures.
How about Stafford?
Cousins is a good one, though. I will say that.
Like,
I'm taking Stafford.
I listed 11 on my list.
Yeah,
Cousins
11?
and Stafford were both on there as far as quarterbacks I would take before Brock Purdy, but again, it depends on.
You're putting Cousins in this offense, he would probably laugh like, oh my God, I'm in heaven.
Yeah, I think so. And that to me is the ultimate question, Goo, because I do think that Brock Purdy in this offense is the best Brock Purdy that he could be. And, we can say this about anybody. If Brock Purdy gets traded to the Jets right now, Brock Purdy's not going to be as good as he is here.
Ooh.
No, ain't no ooh.
No. The way you said it, you're right. But where my mind went, if Brock Purdy went to the Jets, are they back in the playoff conversation?
Oh, I think they're still in the playoff conversation.
Well,
both of us.
They're undefeated. They're on pace to win 17
Mark, how can
games.
You say
Mark.
no to? You know what? I would think they would have action, better action than they have now. Yes.
Oh God, yes. I mean, Brock Purdy versus Zach Wilson.
Okay, yeah.
See, here's the thing that I watch, and I would encourage everyone to do this. Like, it's not just, hey, Kyle Shanahan's got a system. My eyes keep getting caught by Baldy and Ross Tucker, who you guys had on today.
He's getting rid of it,
and Orlovsky and the people who are doing O'Sullivan, the content where you are being given the all 22 to watch exactly what the quarterback is doing.
Don't forget him.
And my gosh. This guy, he's
bringing something to the table, Mark.
It's not just Kyle with a joystick. He is making plays
gotta sell me.
that are high level, and you're being told this by the people who've been in the game and studied the game. This is a high-level quarterback, and we have seen enough to at least say that. I like what you said earlier, Steiny. Like, if he goes out and has a bad game now, it's like, oh, he had a bad game.
Yeah, you ain't returning no slippers.
It's not, exactly. It's
I'll take a 10-to-1 ratio.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Like, Josh Allen had a bad game. Are they ready to cut him?
The Guru thinks he stinks.
No.
I'm just kidding. All right, guys, have a great show. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Niners.